Hello, church. Good to see you. I remember I've been saying all this time, we are not just going to survive, but we are going to thrive. I love what it says in Psalm 108, verse 1. It says, "My heart is confident in you, O God. No wonder I can sing your praises with all my heart." And then in the last verse, verse 13, it says, "With God's help, we will do mighty things." And I am so confident of that, church. We are looking forward to doing mighty things. Now, there have been many questions of people asking, what is going on in the midst of this pandemic? What ministry is happening in our new reality? And we are in the midst of our third major pivot in ministry, and I am confident that this is going to be great and continue walking us down the pathway of mission fulfillment. All our ministries are up and launched for the fall in modified formats, and the health concerns of being immune compromised, they have been addressed. And so everyone is able to come to our ministries and what we are doing here, our services and what we are doing here. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But we are going to have a special family meeting after church at 6 on Sunday, October 4th. And we are going to answer your burning questions here at eFree, like, what is everyone doing in our ministries, and how have we seen God move powerfully in our midst? How is everyone doing here, and how is God sustaining us? Why are we hiring in the midst of a pandemic? Where are we at in the hiring process? And you will have the opportunity to ask any questions after this information. Our commitment has always been to you to be as transparent as possible and communicate to you our decisions and the reason for them. The board and I have felt that this is an important time for us to come together. Now, this isn't a normal congregational meeting, but this special family meeting. And so it's going to be October 4th at 7 o'clock p.m. You can join us here on site by registering ahead of time. We'll have 3 spots on site. You can do this, or you can join us online. And at any of those locales, you'll have the ability to ask questions. Now, this weekend, we are moving to 4 worship services. 3 of them are at 10 o'clock, and 1 is church at 6. So we have the service in the worship center you can register for. We have our tradition service, and we have our family worship service. And we have been seeing a huge uptake in the amount of people that have been registering for this service. We're excited about this moving forward. So make note that you can do that. And we're excited about the ministry opportunities this allows us to. We're going to have great discipleship and great relational connection that will move us into smaller, more intimate groups of people. It's a great place to bring new families to as well, and a great place for you to connect closely with others. We desire to grow our leaders and grow connection with one another. And so we are engaging leaders, forming teams, and asking you to come back to church and engage with your brothers and sisters if you feel comfortable in this way. Of course, we are going to be investing in online and continuing to do our online services in that way. And Jeremy is going to be giving specific oversight to this. And we'll also be supporting our community groups over the next little while as we continue to press in the up and the in and the out. But you are welcome to come back to one of our 4 services this weekend, and they are filling up now, so take note of that. Get on the computer there and register in that way. Third thing I want to mention is we are in the middle of our sermon series called Teach Us to Pray, and we are having a prayer focus. One of the areas that our church has grown in immensely over the past 6 months is our reliance upon prayer. And this is the genesis of our Teach Us to Pray sermon series. As we walk through the Lord's Prayer together, it is my hope and prayer that not only do you grow deeper personally in your prayer life and with your family, but we also grow deeper in our corporate prayer for our church, our city, and the world. And I'm encouraged that many of you have been delving more deeply into prayer. Many of you have been mentioning me how you've been praying for the church and upholding us as we walk through this great time here. Thank you so much for pushing into prayer more and more. We have the journals that are still available, and we're asking you to grab those journals and use those personally on a daily basis, and then grab other people around you and pray with them for God to move you personally and God to move our church more deeply. Brothers and sisters, I love you all. I read an article here today that said this. Essentially, it said that right now in our churches, and really everybody, is having a bad day. In the middle of this pandemic, there's underlying tension at all levels, and people are having a bad day. And so the encouragement is that we walk in grace with one another, no matter what our point of view is on these things, whether you believe everyone should wear a mask or whether you believe no one should wear a mask, whether you believe this is a big deal we're going through right now or whether this is not a deal at all. Jesus Christ calls us to love one another with the grace that he had. And we need to think of ways that we can love one another in these. So we are not going to agree on everything. In fact, we are going to have our disagreements. That's what families are all about. But the call of our loving Savior is to bear with each other and to love each other and to give each other true grace in the midst of this. Can we do that, church? I hope we can. Look forward to seeing you this weekend at our services and then next week at our family meeting together.